Hey, it's Francis Lamb, host of The Splendid Table. Every week on our show, we talk about food and cooking and the meanings of food and cooking. We talk with the most interesting people in food about their techniques, their culture, and everything in between. Whether it's about how fried chicken took over the world or how Instagram changes the way people are actually eating. It's a food show where everyone is welcome. Come join us. You can listen to The Splendid Table wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to Heritage Radio Network.
Hey, you've reached Meetin' 3. We can't get to the phone right now, but leave a message after the beep.
Good morning from Mexico City. So I found my new favorite juice stand last week that also blasts a vibrant playlist of Mexican music. I had to come back for more. Fresh juice stands are part of daily life here in Mexico City. While some vendors may have prepared cups of green, guava, or orange juice to go, here he makes it fresh to order. For about $3, he blends a third of a pineapple with freshly squeezed orange juice, strains the pulp, then fills a liter container with a golden nectar. Sí, gracias. Then he hands me the cup full to the brim and tells me to sip some of it so he can refill the cup with what remains in the blender. Sí, claro. Que fresca, que rico. It's so sweet and refreshing.
Hielo se puede porque hace calor hoy.
What a great start to my day.
You just heard Danielle Flitter sending us a piece of her morning in Mexico City. Food is so personal. The spots we frequent, the people who make it for us, the company we keep around the table, they stay with us long after the meal is cleared from our plate. Unfortunately, this is radio. We can't give you a taste of the food, but we can bring you into the moments when it was shared. I hope you're feeling rested, refreshed, and ready to go because we've got a lot of ground to cover today. Instead of our usual square meal, 1 meat, 3 sides, we're bringing you a tasting menu of sorts. 10 messages from our team across North America on the food and places they love. I'm Taylor Early, and this is Meetin' 3 on HRN.
Meetin' 3.
Meetin' 3.
Meat and 3.
1 meat, 3 sides.
Food, news, and storytelling.
A square meal. For your ears.
Meat and 3.
Next up, a message from Detroit, Michigan. Rocky's historic Eastern Market has been a staple in the city since 1969, and Asha McElroy has been going for years. Her aunt told her it's where to get the good stuff. So let's hear what's on that grocery list.
Yes, that's it, is what I said when I walked into Rocky's historic Eastern Market, a hidden gem within the heart of Detroit.
Rocky's has been around a long time,
okay,
and they've been dealing with different vendors. A lot of it is like cultural, and it originated in cities like New York and Chicago where they have more of a mixed culture than we do.
Okay.
So some of our spices come from Detroit and New York and different places all over.
Right.
So that's how the blend, I think, really is different than what you see in the store. Because in the store, they go by what's popular and what people request.
I had to try some chai tea, and I'm going to work with you to help eyeball how much I want to get. Maybe a half a pound.
Okay. Are you going to make a pot, or are you planning to use it per cup?
I have done it traditionally per cup, but if there's a way to make it by the pot, I've kind of seen that online, so I know there's different ways you can do it. Okay.
So that's all I was going to say.
Okay.
You got to use just probably a small amount.
While $14.99 for a pound of chai tea may sound like a lot, it's more than worth it because of the comforting feeling that I get making my cup of chai tea every single morning.
It's also grocery shopping time back in New York. We're all loyal to certain markets, but not all of us make our real estate decisions based on that loyalty. Here's H. Conley's message from their favorite international market.
When looking for a new apartment over the summer, one condition was for it to be closer to Caloostians. My new place is a block and a half away, and I'm there every week to buy my bulk nuts, guajillo chilies,
I just like to
paneer,
walk
dried figs,
down the
sesame,
aisles and like just look at all the cool stuff, like things we've never seen before.
It's kind of like being at like a bazaar, you know. My girlfriend wanted popcorn, so I'm getting midnight blue popcorn. I have no idea what it's going to taste like or what it's going to be.
Matthew and Mark make an annual pilgrimage from Brooklyn.
I remember coming here, just like never being able to actually find the thing you need, but that's like kind of part of the fun, I think, is like just like walking around and discovering.
I think it's very cool.
This is Jess's first time. She heard about the store from a YouTube channel about Indian cooking.
Yeah, they just have so much. I don't even know. I saw a whole bunch of wood chips over there that made me want to try out smoking things. It looks like it's kind of small, but then you turn the corner and there's more. I come from a Chinese family, and so I feel like if I were to cook like Chinese food, I don't have to go to Chinatown. I could just come here as well.
If you have any obscure ingredient you've been wanting to try, you'll find it here.
I mean, they pretty much have everything, but if they don't have something, they can be like, oh, well, you can sub this out, or like, oh, we'll get that some other day.
No problem.
While most cities have their quirky specialty markets, only New York has Sonny and Annie's. It's a crowded bodega in the East Village. Their deli has sandwich combinations you won't find anywhere else. Anybody want a Jackie Chan or a what the pho? Hannah Chenard takes us there.
Okay, this is the one. Is it this one?
This is the sound of me eagerly anticipating the arrival of my favorite sandwich in New York City.
I'm hungry. Oh, yeah. Can we get a pho number 11 with bulgogi? And then can we get the kimchi bulgogi sandwich with no mozzarella? Okay, thank you.
Sonny and Annie's Deli is hidden on an unassuming corner in New York's East Village. The shop is a neighborhood staple, beloved for friendly service, delicious sandwiches, and their delightfully creative names.
The Abraham mung bean, I think, is good too.
Open 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Sonny and Annie's is the subject of urban mythologizing. One rumor has it they've never closed, and it was only during Hurricane Sandy that they discovered they didn't even have a front door. Whatever the truth is, I know one thing for sure. This is a place I'll always go for the best sandwiches in New York City.
That's fucking sick.
Next up, Sophia Hooper. When she's in Puerto Rico, she doesn't need to go anywhere. The good food comes right to her. Here she is, with a home-cooked lunch courtesy of her Titi Ka.
Hello.
Hey, no, mi amor, ¿cómo estás? ¿Y dónde estás? You too. Okay, thank you.
So we just arrived in Puerto Rico, and like all good Hispanic families returning home, we've been waiting for this. My grandma's sister, my Titi Carmen, actually called us before we came over to make sure we hadn't eaten lunch yet.
She's like, no, because look, they're gonna go get lunch somewhere and they're not gonna want to eat here. I'm like, we know the no.
Well, we know.
But we're well trained by now. The menu's nothing fancy. Pork pasteles wrapped in banana leaves, topped with hot sauce homemade by a lady in the neighborhood. Rice and beans, salad dressed with garlic and adobo, and some tomatoes that, according to my cousin, simply sprung up from the ground one day. And you can't get away with just one serving.
There's one more.
I don't think I can have another whole one. Mi amor, there's more food for you if you want.
I figured there might.
Tranquilo, hasta que ellos cuando quieran más saben dónde están.
And before you know it...
Let me know when you guys are ready for the desierto.
You say that and then you come take a bite of mine.
I'm not paying any attention to him. I will give him the desierto and he wouldn't.
Okay, lunch is over, folks. It's late afternoon, which means it's time to get ready for dinner service. The flock of line cooks, waiters, bussers, and dishwashers who make your meals are enjoying their last minutes of sanity before showtime. It's a chaotic choreography that, if done right, you hardly notice. Elizabeth Fisher is clocking in, giving us a behind-the-scenes scoop on the workplace she hates to love and loves to hate. And that's after the break.
This episode is supported by HRN business member Anton's, a cozy, nostalgic New York cafe and wine bar in the heart of the West Village. Anton's thoughtfully reimagines New York City's rich culinary history through comforting, eclectic American cuisine with deep European influences and a wine list 550-plus bottles deep, all within a warm and inviting space. Anton supports HRN's creative, educational reporting and storytelling that drives conversation to make the world a better, fairer, and more delicious place.
You have 5 new messages.
I've been working in New York City's food service industry for about 5 years. I started at a gelato shop in Chelsea and really got into restaurants at a French-Japanese finer dining spot in Prospect Heights. Most recently, I worked at a small plate Southern food restaurant in East Williamsburg, Brooklyn. I always say that working in the service industry is like being in a toxic relationship. You know you deserve better, you should have higher standards, but a part of you loves it so much. I've developed some pretty unhealthy habits. I eat a lot of hush puppies and fried potatoes and take too many shots of Mezcal Montenegro. But I've also made some of my best friends. If you're not doing it for the money, you're doing it for the people, for the camaraderie, and for the experience of giving others an experience. I know it's likely not a job I'll have forever, but nothing else has made me feel as happy, confident, and absolutely out of my mind as working front of house in New York City.
And now, to the back of the house. Addison Austin Liu has been coming to this Japanese restaurant since she was 5 and got her start in the industry here as a sushi chef. It's a neighborhood staple in Salt Lake City, and business is steady tonight. Let's see how she's holding up.
There's this thing that happens when you've been behind a sushi bar almost a decade. The movement becomes second nature. The knife is an extension of your arm. And then there are nights, 10 minutes to close. You hear this. And you love it nonetheless.
All right, I think it's time for a drink. Most of us go to the bodega, pick out our beer based on a graphic design or a few buzzwords on the label, and get out. Not in the case of Jessica Gingrich's favorite spot.
Welcome to Vinyl Beer, a haven for the curious and thirsty alike.
That's basically an apple Jolly Rancher in beer form.
Today, Charlie's working and showing off their new Czech taps named Lukers.
Pretty much all the taps in the Czech Republic are of this style. And they pour the beer an entirely different way. Basically, they nucleate and kind of aerate the beer a lot more.
The setup creates a decadent crown of foam.
So essentially the principle is to get that foam and pour the beer, then open it up and pour the beer underneath the foam. In the Czech Republic, they pour with a lot of foam. Like, there's different names for each pour. Go for it.
Charlie slides me a shot glass filled with foam. There's only a tiny, tiny splash of amber lager hiding at the very bottom. I mean, we're talking about a centimeter tops. This, my friends, is Milko.
But it's like a much
so
thicker
good.
and frothy. It's almost like cappuccino foam in a way, that it's got that thicker density to it. It's really nice. We often just go by it and like pour ourselves little foam shots, you know,
just to get through the day. And that is the charm of vinyl beer. You walk in aiming to snag a six-pack and find yourself getting schooled in the fine art of Czech beer pouring. It's a place to learn, to explore, and to connect over the shared language and love of beer. And of course, lots and lots of foam.
Okay, I know it's weird for me to leave a voicemail, kind of for myself, but I couldn't let everybody have all this fun without me. So here's my love letter from Ursula, Brooklyn. So I guess every time I'm in New York, I have to go to Ursula with H. And luckily enough, this time I got to join them with Chala June. The Chala June. And we went to go drink some wine made by black folks.
But it's like a fizzing candy kind of fizzing that I feel like a lot of sparkling wines, because they do them in the really narrow glasses, you don't get the like up your nose kind of fizzing as much. Yeah. This is like in your nose.
Yeah, that nice like bubbly like.
Yeah, you know, like a cider, like a pear or apple cider has that concentrated bubble and a little bit warm in your mouth.
That nice natural fizz, as opposed to like McDonald's Sprite.
Hard, round
like
bubbles.
Hard, yeah. They like structurally engineered that Sprite. I don't even
You need a master's degree to open a bottle of Sprite at McDonald's.
Truly making that.
Shout out to Eric. Thank you for making us feel like VIPs and pouring the most beautiful Chardonnay Chenin Black blend from Sapere. That was gorgeous. The bubbles on it were amazing, and it went incredible with the food from Juan Morel Cutler, who we certainly had to order 2 of everything.
Okay, so while we've been grocery shopping, working, eating, and drinking, Sam Girardi has been swing dancing late into the night. Luckily, we're invited to the after party. No. The pilgrimage he makes to the Southern Institution of Cookout once his dancing shoes are off. Sam, take us out.
I'm here at Cookout, more precisely Cookout After Dark. I just exited the University of Virginia Swing Dance Semi-Formal. This is our annual pilgrimage.
I come to Cookout to hang out with the Sammy G and other associated friends.
There are many passionate fans here.
I love Cookout. I eat Cookout every single day.
I wait to go to Cookout 23 hours a day. I just wait for the moment when I get to go to Cookout. And that moment is now.
It's the final stop of many a bacchanal at this here university.
We actually just got out of the 2000s dance party.
Oh, fun.
And we need sustenance.
Makes for pretty easy interviews, but honestly they seem more interested in my mic's windscreen.
Wait, can I
Is it like a beaver pelt?
Yeah.
It's like a cloud.
It is really soft. Anyways, I think it's time to get some grub. If you couldn't tell, very southern establishment.
Where you go, sir?
Can I get a... It's cheap, it's tasty, got good company. I think the people said it best.
Meal of champions.
Fantastic.
That's our show. Thanks for listening. This episode of Meat and Three was sent lovingly to you from our whole team. Danielle Flitter, Asha McElroy, H. Conley, Hannah Chenard, Sophia Hooper, Elizabeth Fisher, Addison Austin Liu, Jessica Gingrich, Sam Girardi, and me, Taylor Early. Our lead producer on this episode was Sophia Hooper, with support from Sam Girardi. Meat and Three is produced by H. Conley and me, Taylor Early. Our audio engineer for this episode is H. Conley. Our theme song was composed by Breakmaster Cylinder. This program is supported in part by public funds from the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in partnership with the City Council. Meat and Three is powered by Simplecast. Meat and Three is a production of Heritage Radio Network, the world's pioneer food radio station. Learn more at heritageradionetwork.org and follow us at heritage_radio. And please stay in touch. Whether you have a story idea or would just like to say hey, write us at ideas@meetand3.nyc, and that's all spelled out.
Hey everybody, I'm Nick Latham.
And I'm Leah Bottima.
And we're the hosts of Were You Raised by Wolves?
Each week we try to make the world a kinder, nicer place.
Well, that's the idea, at least.
I mean, we try.
Have you ever wondered what to do if you're ghosted?
Or what to do when a friend asks you to borrow money?
Or the proper way to eat Cheetos?
You know, the big questions.
So please find Were You Raised by Wolves wherever you listen.